Good morning. Yesterday I came across something while I was going through all those hard drives testing them. Um, this particular one I had I don't know, maybe 25 or something like that. So I had the same ones. Um, this particular one, when I plugged it in, it did not spin. Um, So obviously it's dead, but it did not spin at all. So that would lead me to believe power is not getting to this right here. So I got another one here that has a clicking noise to it. So this is going in recycling anyway. However, the part of the board that makes this turn does work. So it would be reasonable to believe or to assume that whatever is wrong with this board is probably not wrong with this one. Um, my point in bringing that up is that I'm using a bad drive to replace the part in this drive because all of the other ones that work, I don't want to mess with those because those boards are worth money, and that would be like maybe throwing away a $20 board just to try, you know. Um, these two boards here are virtually identical. They are not exact, but that's okay. It's the same exact model of the um, drive. And looking at the date codes, May 2014 and November 2015. So, for the purposes of figuring out the simple fact that this will not turn the motor, we'll figure that out. All right, so let me grab a couple things and we'll get started. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is pull off the bad board that does not run this motor. Guys, pretty soon I'm going to get that overhead camera so that way, it'll come like right here. Get a good view of this right here. So it'll be a little easier to see because I know this is kind of a funny angle. All right. Just looking, kind of eyeballing it, I don't really see anything that sticks out. However, we will put it under the microscope here, see what we can find, if anything pops out. All right, start at the top here. All right. We're just kind of looking for burnt something or other, bad capacitor that's blown, or something that just doesn't look right. Excuse me. All right. So far, everything looks reasonable. What about that? What about that? Okay. I can't tell. Let me angle this up and see if we can get a view. Okay. So that right there looked bad. It looked like right here, it looked like it was burnt or something. But I guess it's okay. I mean, I think, yeah, because that side does the same thing right there on the top. But what we'll do is we'll come back, kind of bookmark that in our head, and come back to that exact part. We'll compare it with the other board. What about that? I would be suspicious of that capacitor. This capacitor right here, if there weren't several that were that color here, if it was just all brown ones, I would be suspicious of that one, but I'm not too worried about that one. All right, and controller going down here. Alrighty. By the way, WinBond, that chip right here, is almost certainly the, well, maybe. No, scratch that. Usually, what I was going to say was this could be the BIOS chip, but typically the BIOS chip does not have that many connections on it. Usually it has like 6. So, and you know, selling all these boards, this is what they're going for. Looking at this, yeah, I'm going to say that this one right here is likely the BIOS chip. It's the only thing with 6 or 8 connections on it, and that's probably the BIOS chip. If I was to Google that, that's probably what it'll tell me. Okay, so I don't see any problems here with this board, at least nothing that sticks out. So I'm going to go ahead and take this other one off, and we'll go back and compare that one part. I don't even know what that part is. It almost looks sort of like a filter, sort of like a coil. I have no idea. I'm still learning this stuff too, guys. All right, so put that over there. All right, so putting us back to that part that looks burnt to me. Let's see how the other one looks. What do you think? Just something about that doesn't look right to me, and something about this one does. Something about that one. Okay. I wish I knew what that was. I mean, if they had schematics for this. I'll tell you what we're going to do, we will take some continuity readings on this. And not knowing, I mean, looking at it this way, not knowing a damn thing about this, what even it is, we'll take some continuity readings and see what we see. Because if this, looking at it, this looks like 2 pads. That one and that one. Now, if there's a split in it here, right here, then we literally have 4 pads like this. Sorry, this is hard to draw on. So we may have 4 pads here. All right, so keeping in mind this is the bad one, I'm actually going to make it easy, I'm going to scratch a big X on this. All right, so this is the bad one. So I'm guessing that each of these pads is not connected to the other. Let's see. Okay, that's connected. What about up here? Yes. Yes. Okay. Now, let's just assume for a minute that this was not supposed to be this way, and it's shorted inside. That would cause it to give me that reading. So let's go to the other board, to the same one. Let's see. What do you think? Yeah. Same thing. All right, so I don't know what that is, but apparently that was just kind of false alarm, just the way it looks. All right, so now we're back to square one. I guess what we could do is we could look for some shorts. Try this one. No. Nope. Actually, I could just I could just put this on the ground, like up here, like right here. I could put this in here and test everything that way. Just put it in that little hole. Then I could test everything. All right. Looking for possible shorts. I mean, we could literally do the whole board this way. These are all the ground side apparently, so none of these on this side should make noise. Okay. I'm just randomly testing different capacitors, with one side being showing continuity, the other side not. I think that might be a resistor. Open circuit. Okay, see, I've already done those. I think I've done those. Let's go down here. A lot of capacitors down here. A lot of times, many capacitors can say power supply, and maybe that's power supply to the interesting. I'm not getting anything here at all. Not getting any power at all to this capacitor. So I wonder, that's this one here. Let's look at the other board, see if we get anything there. Okay. So was it this one? Yeah, same. That could be something that actually turns on and off, maybe. All right, going back. Sometimes just going process of elimination and just testing everything you can find. Get this back on ground. Weird that sometimes it beeps and sometimes it stops. Isn't that strange? Maybe I'm touching something else. All right. Try these. Another capacitor with nothing going to it, no connection whatsoever. This, if I'm not mistaken, is kind of a fuse. Let's see on this one. Nah, same. So this right here is the part that goes to the board. So while I can't find any shorts, what I'm going to do is let me angle this a bit. What I'm going to do is bend. I'm going to bend these up a bit, just so I know they're making a good connection. Just bend them up just a little bit, not to break them. This is a very precarious position here. All right. Those are sticking up a bit more. That means they'll have a better connection. They'll push a little harder. All right, there we go. And then on this, this is the connector for the motor. I'll put a little bit of alcohol on the board as well, but I'm not going to wipe on it because I might bend those real bad, really bad. Okay, so now that's clean. All right, so now we got that clean, and we have this bent a little bit, so it'll provide a little more attention. You know, while I'm at it, the other connector that connects to the board, I am not going to put anything on there because those are like little they're kind of pointy, like pins in a socket for a motherboard, and I don't want to bend them. But this one here, this right here, that I will clean just a little bit. Alcohol and a toothbrush works wonders. All right, dry that off. All right, so I don't actually have a docking station over here. At the moment, not for hard drives this size. I do have coming today an adapter, USB adapter for SSDs like this and small drives like laptop hard drives, which that's what I'm holding off on that for, because I need to be able to work on it here at the bench. I did have one, but I think I lost it somewhere, or maybe I loaned it out. If I loan things out, I forget. I always tell people it'll be on you to bring it back because I will forget. Okay, so unfortunately, I can't do this. You know what? I will do this live. I will do this live. Let me go grab my. I will go grab my. There it is. My docking station, and we'll just go ahead and see what happens. I'll hook it up here, and hopefully it won't reset everything like it did yesterday. My microphone didn't work. The camera stopped recording all at once when I plugged in the docking station. I think maybe I'll plug it directly into the computer rather than my hub, and we can see what happens. Okay, let me get that all set up. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're going to try it. Let's plug well, we got it already here, ready to go right here. So it's in there. I'm just going to hit the power button and see what happens. Hopefully, who knows? Let's see what happens. All right, and here we go. Okay, and it's not going to spin. Okay, you know what? We can actually keep going. Tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to, just for the hell of it, I'm going to switch out the BIOS chip from the other drive. But I want to find another drive that's more similar to the date. I'm going to go through the drives that are going to recycling to find the closest one I can, and then we'll switch out the BIOS chip. That'll be fun. Be right back. Okay, so all in all, it didn't work. I mean, it didn't work, and I did not find something close. But just for, the purpose of practice and doing it, I'm just going to use the board that I had, that I was just messing with, and I'm going to take off the BIOS chip for the board that will not spin up for this drive, and I'm going to move it to this one that does spin up, and see what happens. Righty? The BIOS chip, as I've said, and a couple other videos, the BIOS chip tells the board, okay, this is what kind of drive it is. This is the firmware parameters and the files and everything about this drive, parameters and specifications wise, get stored in a chip like this BIOS chip. The newer ones have like 2 chips, I think. I've heard that. But these are old. These are 9 years old. So a lot easier. So let's get under the microscope. And this is the chip we're going to take out. Now, as always mentioned before, you see there is a little arrow right here and a dot right here. That means pin 1. So that way it's hard to put this on backwards. You always want to put that where there's a note on the board, like that arrow. If I go to another chip, see how there's a thing right there. I don't know. There's 4 circles on this one, so that one may not have that sort of thing, but this chip has it. See how you got that plus the circle? That means it's impossible, if you're paying attention, to screw this up, to put it on, 90 degrees or 180 degrees in the wrong direction. Yeah, that's the only chips on here, really. All right, so back to the issue at hand. We're taking this off. I'm not going to put any. I'm not going to put any flux on this right now. We're just taking it off for the moment. So, and this is the board that we are getting rid of, okay? So if we knock over one of these capacitors or something, it's not a big deal. We just need this chip out of here, right here. Boom. Okay, so now I'm going to take it off and place it somewhere exactly like this, so that when it goes back on, I don't have to second guess myself. Alright, so that is now hot. That's now hot. That is now trash. So now, what we're going to do is take off the other board. I'm not switching camera views because this is literally takes 2 seconds to do. Alright, so now there's our other BIOS chip right there. Now that drive I'm going to set aside. Now this is the other way. We're taking this chip off, then we're going to clean it up, put the other chip in its place, put this on the drive we want to recover, or at least rescue data from. I don't know anybody's going to save a drive that's that old, Alright, there's the BIOS chip. Putting that aside so I don't confuse it with anything else. All right, now, for the purpose of just rescuing data, I could just pop that on there temporarily, but you know that would eliminate the chance of a little soldering practice. Cleaning this up, tinning the pads, putting a little solder on there, making it nice. I never give up a chance for practice because you can't have enough. All right, so I got my solder wick, got it ready. Now we're going to take off the solder that's currently on there to make it look like it came from the factory. Look at brand new. Makes it look easy, doesn't it? All right. It is easy, but just like anything, it's easy after you've practiced a whole bunch. So get a little bit of fresh wick. All right, and I'm going to turn this way since I'm right-handed, and I don't want to come in. Where is it? There it is. I don't want to come in this, like from the left, well, you know, from this side, and then hit all of those components. This way I can come in from this empty spot here. Make it easy. Let's see, orient myself here. There we go. The distance between the tip of my soldering iron and those other components, a couple of millimeters. So you just got to be careful. All right, and again, you don't have to do some of the things that I'm doing, like what I'm about to clean and all that. We could have got away with not doing any of that, but for the purpose of cleaning it and getting more soldering practice in. So, excuse me, and now I'm going to put a little bit of, gotta clean my solder tip first. All right, so now when we want to tin these pads, we want to do it in a way that makes it real easy to put the other thing back in place, the other chip. We don't need a lot of solder, just a tiny little bit. And then steady your hand and go over these. Looks good. And then go back to the position we started in, and we'll do the other four. Looks good, right? All right. So, just gonna get that off of there. All right, here we go. So now what we're going to do is, again, as in a video from a couple days ago, excuse me, I did not use the heat gun again because of the plastic around it. But this time I'm not going to use it because it's a simple job. I'm going to simply put it in place the best I can. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to try to grab it at the very, very top edge. So, because this is two-dimensional I'm looking at here, and I don't want it to be off the board and me not realize it. All right. All right, once I get one done, look at that, in place. So now I can literally push on top of it and tack the rest in. I'm going to switch my angle on this soldering iron so I don't hit these. See that? See how that solder kind of just went its own way almost? That's because of not using flux. I don't know that I'm going to use it for this situation. Good, good. 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 All right. Flip this around. See where we're at. Oh, yeah, okay. Way over here. All right. Now, I'm going to put just the tiniest little bit of solder on this. There we go. And just tack these in here. See, it's much less dramatic when you don't use flux. You can't really see a lot of what's going. See, that's because of flux. You know what? Let me throw some flux on this so you can see the difference. With flux, you don't have that solder making that kind of like pointy porcupine looking thing. All right, so now I'm going to go back. See the difference when you don't use solder versus or flux versus when you do? You don't get those weird things happening much with solder. Okay, so I think we're good. Good. Okay. Not going to really clean this much, just dab it. All right. So now, clean up a little bit, and then we can see what happens with this board. Will it work? I don't know. Maybe. Will it make it spin? Almost certainly. But it may not read it. It may just click or make noises or something. But the new board. Now, if this thing does not spin this time, that just means there's a problem inside there. For instance, like there's a problem with the motor or something like that. Interesting. That didn't sit quite right, but could be my imagination. All right. Maybe it'll catch fire. That would be interesting. All right. Okay, that's the dead one. Got to keep track of these things. That's the one we're going to test. And of course, this one is going to recycling. I mean, sure, it's only like $1 something for this in weight for recycling, but as I've said before, everything counts in large amounts. So we're going to put this back in the stack. If you keep an eye on the small things, you don't have to worry about the big things. And this is nothing by itself, but the sum of all of those drives is something. Okay? All right. So that's going to go aside. All right. And we're going to plug in the docking station. Hard drives in place. And then let me move over to this. What do you think? You think it's going to work? I don't know. Maybe. It's spinning up. Well, what do you know? So, what does this say? This says, this is proof that simply switching over the BIOS chip brought this back to life. That's it, man. It's that easy. So now that simple task, what we just did, brought that back to life. And I mean, the money that you can charge as a business now, the money that you can charge for that fix, because that literally went from a drive that does nothing, does nothing, to a drive that reads all the data that's on it. So there you go. That is how a drive is fixed. We made a little bit longer, but I'm glad we decided to go the second step and try the BIOS chip, because it was just a proof of concept. It works. Okay, guys. Listen, I hope you're having fun with the videos. I appreciate everybody paying attention and, visiting the channel. And of course, if you'd like it, feel free to like and then subscribe. And I think there's something about notifications, but don't worry about it. I mean, it's not like I wait 2 weeks between videos. I'm putting out 3 a week right now, probably, give or take. And I try to mix it up. I don't try to do several of one type of video all at once. Okay, that's going to do it, guys. This will go up shortly, and have a wonderful day. See ya.